If you're anything like me, it is very difficult to find good music for your children. In fact, as your children move on into the teens and their early 20s, they're always listening to who knows what. And right now, it's very popular to be listening to rap music. The beats are kind of interesting, but for the most part, you're really hoping your kids are very much like you. They don't actually listen to what's being said. They're just listening to the beat. Unfortunately, it's not the case. Any parent of teens or kids in their early 20s will tell you, oh, no. They memorize all the lyrics, and it's a bloody nightmare. What do you do? Well, I found something you can do. It's actually amazing. Imagine a rapper who not only raps good lyrics, but does it really well. So your kids aren't going to cringe at, oh yeah, that was like he was trying to rap, but yeah, I didn't get there. Oh, no. Imagine if it was really, really good. We're going to be talking with one of those rappers today. His name is Fawaz Yasi. This is the John Henry Weston Show. Stay tuned. Fawaz Yasi, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Let's begin as we always do with the sign of the cross. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. Amen. Now, you are known popularly as Enoch, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. So your music is great. Let's have a quick listen. This is from your album called Traditionis, if that's right.
Correct.
All right, here we go.
You can catch me in divine life. Either you win or you're sitting on the sideline. Glory to God, the glory of God. It's the glory of God. Either you add or we track, subtract and make it be a matter of fact. Tell them, glory of God, the glory of God. It's the glory of God.
Here you are actually doing an album about being a Catholic, being a traditional Catholic, with some amazing lyrics. You've also just released a pro-life song. Talk about controversial as anything. Even before we get to a lot of the controversy, give us some of the lyrics, if you will, of that newly released pro-life song.
One of the lyrics I have on there is just calling out, just giving shout out to those who just profound job throughout the years with the pro-life movement. And the second verse starts off with shout out to Lila Rose and the Kristen Hawkins and the Abby Johnsons and other sidewalk counselors for those who were arrested in the sacrifice that you offered. Even though the consequences were monstrous, you took it up. So those are some of the lyrics that are on there, just giving shout out to the pro-life movement as a whole and the fantastic job that they've done in saving babies and taking care of women at the same time.
This is amazing stuff. This is stuff that I want to give my kids. I really hope they listen to all your lyrics. In fact, it's great. Memorize it, kids. And we won't tell them that, of course, they'll do it by themselves. But let's learn about you. Who is Yasi Fawaz?
Yeah, I'm actually born in Baghdad. I migrated here with my family when I was about 7 years old. I was in California for most of my life. Assimilated as best as I can to America. And it's been a blessing here. My father wanted an opportunity for us to succeed and not be in more of a tyrannical country. And kudos to him for that sacrifice that he made for his family. And I've always carried that with me, to sacrifice for the sake of mine as well. I grew up listening to rap in the heyday of the 90s. It was the golden era, I guess the golden, what they call the greatest decade of hip hop is the 90s. And my brother and I, we started rapping around 8th grade, just writing some stuff. We didn't put anything on record until 2005. At the time, it was secular, clean but secular music. I joined the Protestant faith for about a year. And then I came back to the Catholic faith. I was baptized, confirmed. I had my first communion in the Chaldean Syriac rite. And then the church fathers kind of brought me back into the fold of the Catholic faith. And I found the tradition around 2013 and so, and attended the traditional Latin Mass. So my brother and I, we switched over to Catholic rap, and we put out an album at the time called Spirit versus Flesh. We had been signed to a Catholic record label, and then after that, I got married, had some, had a few kids, and we took about a 10-year hiatus from making music. Family life took over, things like that, and then it wasn't until I moved to Kentucky about 2 years ago is where I started picking up music again. I didn't have much time in California, working multiple jobs for the sake of my family. And then moving to Kentucky, homesteading, I found myself to have a little bit more time. So the love of music never went away. I picked it back up. And then 6 months later, the album Traditionis came out. And that's what I put out for the sake of the traditional movement and, of course, for the Catholic faith.
You're actually on this show on a day that's kind of special for your family, are you not?
Yes, it is. Today's my wife's due date for our fourth boy. Yeah, I was joking around earlier, saying, if you hear a doctor saying push in the background, don't just ignore it, just keep going because I want to. But no, we're patiently waiting. It's God's timing for Clement Charbel is his name to arrive and be a great addition to our family. So. It's very pro-life.
You grew up, as you said, involved with rap music. What's your assessment of popular rap music nowadays? Is it stuff that parents should let their children listen to if they are concerned about their children's, spiritual welfare?
And that's something that I've wrestled with myself as I became a parent. Rap music and music has a hierarchy. That is just like the hierarchy of man. The man has the intellect, the will, and the passions. Music also follows that same hierarchy because it comes from within man. And rap music, rock music, even country music is what we call syncopated music. So it falls off of the hierarchy. And the only correct hierarchy of music, you have chant and classical. So those are the only ones that are simple and follow the hierarchy correctly. So those you could listen to almost all the time without worrying about the passions, and especially with teenagers because they're so accustomed to using the passions as the principal decision making. And sometimes rap adds to that. Now, if it can be done in moderation, maybe at the gym or something that is more rhythmic to get you pumped up, it can be done in moderation. It's a good thing. As long as the content, the lyrics on that song are actually either edifying, they're of the faith. But if the lyrics are modest or blasphemous, I think it should be avoided, to be honest with you, because I think we end up memorizing lyrics whether we know it or not. And sometimes I was listening to a rap song at the gym the other day, and a song came on from back in the 90s, and then I finally got to pay attention to the words. I'm like, I can't believe I used to listen to this. So I skipped it right away. And you just don't realize what they're saying and what you're picking up subconsciously. So in moderation, I think it's fine as long as the content are good.
Hopefully lots of parents aren't like me. I always figure, they're listening to the beat, they're really not paying attention to the words. But then I was horrified as my kids got older and older, to hear they were rhyming off the lyrics to rap songs that were rather extremely offensive. So it was, having to say, absolutely not. And when they're so old at this point that, I'm saying absolutely not in my house. You want to do that somewhere else? I still think it's a bad idea, but that's on you. So it's great to have something to give to them that is edifying, that works. But you very interestingly have that challenge yet to face. All your little guys are little still.
Correct. But my kids really like my music. So that is, except for my middle child, he always tells me to turn it off. But I'm lucky there. And as a parent, as yourself, that's a mark of a good parent, and it's a good father, making sure that your children consume what is good for the soul. So and that's a challenge at times, but it's definitely necessary.
What is your challenge for artists who are Christian, who are struggling in this world of, they want to produce something, they might have super talents, but the industry is very, very difficult. What would you say to them?
Unfortunately, Catholic music, and no matter what genre it is, has kind of fallen behind. I know a lot of the Protestants have made, they really control the rap game as far as Christian rap. The secular has the machine and the money behind it, so their productions are just completely astonishing. And I think we need to, as Catholic artists, to compete, because not only do we have the fullness of the faith and the truth that we can present and the beauty to the world, but beauty and truth belong to one another. So to make music, to compete with the world, and to have the same production, to seek it out and to really push yourself to compete, I think is very important. A lot of times, I think we just kind of put it aside and say, well, it's a song about Jesus. It shouldn't be cringe just because it's about Christ. It should be as powerful and as beautiful as anything else that the world is offering. And I think that's the challenge as a whole, as an industry, is to challenge all these artists out there, is to, let us rise to the occasion and compete with the whole world.
Now, how could you possibly up your game when you're doing all sorts of stuff and you're now living in, it sounds like rural Kentucky?
By the grace of God, to be honest with you, and my wife stay at home. We homestead. I do work from home, so that is a plus. And to be honest with you, the funny thing is my wife came out to me when I finished the CD, and she said, you could have come out, handed me an album, and I would have never even known that you did one. I made sure to do it while the kids were sleeping, or early in the morning I would write, and then late in the evening I would record. Things like that, just finding different ways and outsourcing talented folks who know how to mix the music, put it together, master it, outsourcing, working with producers who are incredibly talented, making sure that I write every single lyric. I want to make sure that all the songs were written by myself, and content, things like that. There's people out there who are very talented, who are willing to work with us, and I just tapped into their talents, and Traditionis came out.
Amazing. What are your plans for the future?
Putting out a second album. The first album was called Traditionis. The second album I'm calling Et Cum Spiritu 2.0. So that one's going to be, I just want to put out Catholic music. My brother and I, his name is Elijah. My name is Enoch.
No, that's great.
Thank you. We have a YouTube channel called Enoch and Elijah CMC, Catholic Music Channel. And what we're doing is we really want to highlight Catholic musicians who are talented. We're interviewing Catholic artists in any genre, whether it be folk, country, rap, or chant, whatever it may be. We really want to put Catholic music out there and compete with the world, because I think there's talented folks out there. That's my plans, is to really elevate Catholic music to the highest I can get to it.
Beautiful. And where else can people find your album and get in touch with you?
Instagram, Holy 40 Project, or if you go on Spotify, any digital stream or channel or music stream or stores, is Enoch, E-Knock, K-N-O-C-K. And the album is called Traditionis. So you could find me on YouTube also at Enoch and Elijah. I'm pretty much everywhere. On Twitter at Catholic Kingdom, and that's my rap name, Enoch, and it actually means eternity knocks. That's what the real meaning is, but I also plan with the word with the prophet Enoch.
Fawaz, great speaking with you, and thank you for your gift of music, which I'm very happy to share with my children.
Thank you so much, Ms. Weston. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And God bless all of you. And we'll see you next time.